Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Hidden Secrets of the Attic. I'm Apostle Sally Cheney, and I am so glad you're joining us again this week for Hidden Secrets. Those things in your attic that need to be excavated, and some things in your attic that you need to find. Hidden treasures, things that God has put in there, those treasures that are lasting treasures, like you're being able to sing or finding out that God has given you a purpose and a plan and a destiny, but you stuffed it away in the attic. It's time to pull those out today. So let's talk about some of those things after you hit the share button. So let's do that. Hit that share button a million times if you want to. I don't care. Hit it. Just keep hitting it. Who cares? It's God, and I care because He cares, okay? Let me correct that. So He wants us to be able to get this out. So share, share, share. Also, want to remind you that you can give into this work. Some of you haven't been thinking about it. I don't know. Well, should I not? Please make your mind up and do this today. I'm going to get that blunt because some of you put it off, and then next week comes again, and here we are. You are actually getting the message out with me when you share and give into either my PayPal or my Cash App. That is helping me to get more and more people out in the earth realm, knowing more and more about what their attic experiences are. I'm able to write books. I'm able to do more things. So come on and be a part of this, and remember to tell your friends about it. Come on and do that today. There are so many great things still going on with our broadcast here at God's Royal Network. Tonight we have Prophet Tamira. We want to talk about these prophets. It's good to hear about what we're doing in the prophet circle. We are actually not just hitting prophets, but we are actually bringing other fivefold ministers and different ones in the body of Christ to understand what's going on in the earth. What's God saying? What's God saying? Give an ear to hear what God is saying. Also, you can tune in tomorrow morning with Apostle Ashley. She is still doing great with Apostles of the Future at 9 o'clock. Yes, it's still 9 o'clock. And then Prophet Tala's show tomorrow night is the Wednesday Warriors at 7:30. Now, you all are right now already thinking, what can I do to get on all these programs? If you cannot get on them, remember to go back and re-listen. They're on Facebook 24/7. If you pull up those names, you will go straight to their shows, and you can look at them more than once. So some of you say, well, I've got to get back to work. I was just taking a 5-minute break. Even right now, come back and listen to this tonight at 9 o'clock. Instead of trying to hear all these other shows that are on TV. Get your spirit fed. Come back and let's hear what's going on, what the Lord is saying. And it is going to actually give you a profit, because God wants fruit, and He doesn't get that unless we get fed. So let's do that. Make sure you're listening. And on Thursday, you do not want to miss Dr. Paula A. Price here at Jesus and Paula Show. So come on and be a part of this network. We are giving you something every week that God has fed us with, and we're giving it out so that you can feed others. And if you can't do it with your mouth, you can do it with the share button. Okay? So let's do that. Make it happen today. Let me see some shares. When I go back and sit down in a few minutes, I want to look and see your shares, and I want to see your giving, because it will bless you. It will bless you. So what are we doing today? We want to talk about today our topic. Our attic topic of this week is emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation. That's a lot of words going at once, right? So that particular word that we're giving you this week is going to change your life, because one thing I know, I don't know anybody that's exempt of it. You can think you are the greatest Christian, walking the greatest life, and you can emotionally manipulate someone in a second, and you're going to find out why. So take notes, get ready, here we go. You know, one thing that the Lord did tell me today, He said, know that your attic experiences uncover your soul issues. He said every attic experience that you have will uncover your soul issues. And many of you are going to doctors, counselors, therapists all over the world. And God said, here's an opportunity for you to learn. We have, I think this is about our 53rd episode. Go back and look at some of those episodes and find out that a lot of things that you are going through, the different topics we've talked about even in 2019, hit those attic experiences, those things in your life that God wanted to deliver you from. So it will uncover your soul issues, what's going in your soul, what's actually happening in your soul affects your heart issues. So when you get your soul cleaned up, your heart gets cleaned up. So how about that? That's pretty cool. It's simple, but it's true. You need to get fixed. So let's do this today. Get fixed with this word, manipulate. What does it mean? Control or influence. It's influencing a person, it's influencing a situation, and it does it cleverly, and it can do it unfairly. It does not care. Again, no one is exempt of it. Emotional manipulation is this: the power to manipulate others' emotions. The power to manipulate others' emotions. That, it comes down to the user can sense and manipulate the emotions, including their feelings, including their moods, because when people are being manipulated, their moods are being affected. They change from being, I know, I should have done that. I didn't do very good. I'm not a good person. Now they start going into condemnation. Their mood changes from being, it's a great day. It's an exciting day. It's a great day. For real, you all. We're getting ready to have a lot of snow here in Tulsa. And we're excited about that because sometimes you just like seeing snow. But we're also praying for your safety. So you say those things. I want to see the snow. It's a great day. All of a sudden, someone manipulates you emotionally, and your mood comes from a 10 down to a 0 in about 10 seconds. How many of you been there? I'll raise my hand first. I've been there. I thought everything was good. I had certain people that were ministering over me that were in authority, and they would say certain things, and it would just change my whole mood. I'm talking about people that are actually out there for the reason of wanting to actually change your mood. They had a purpose. They had a desire. They had an agenda for doing that. They wanted something. That's what we're talking about today. But let's be clear. Manipulation is not the same as influence. So if you're thinking that, click it off. We all use influence to advance our goals. We do that. I am going to influence you. I'm going to influence you. I'm going to influence you. This is part of what we call a healthy social functioning. Influence recognizes the rights and the boundaries of all the other people and is based on direct, and hear this word, honest communication. That's what influence is about. But with manipulation, here it is. There's a tendency to exploit someone else and disregard any of their feelings. I don't care what it makes you feel like. I just need to tell you this. But you're influencing them to actually hurt them. So manipulation is one of the chief characteristics of a controlling spirit. And let me talk about that to tell you. Last year we taught on, or gave you some understanding on the subject of a controlling spirit. This is not, when we talk about going down to that root, this is the chief characteristic of the controlling spirit. This is what we're talking about. So you got to put that in its right perspective. A controlling person will go all out of their way to get others to do things for them. That's what they do. Because control is rooted in fear. That's what it's rooted in. And a controlling person attempts to maintain control of that environment by continually controlling others. So let me ask you today, have you encountered someone with a manipulative spirit, either at work, at home, in your relationship? Stop and think about that. How did you really handle it when they did that? What did you do? How did your day go after that happened? Did you just have to go home and go to bed? Did you take authority over it? I'm one of those people, when I see something that's not right, I am going to speak to that spirit and tell it, you got to go. This is not living up in my house. Many emotional manipulators follow a pattern. They use the same words, the same accusations, and the same tactics. Many of them do. Now, I want you to know, whether you are a wife or whether you are an abusive, in an abusive relationship with your husband, or a mother who allows, that mom that says, I'm going to allow my son to just sell drugs or to actually be drug addicted so that they can continually have money to pay their bills. Sometimes people do that. They're manipulating that way. They'll let their child continue to go out and get money on the streets, even though they don't want their child to be like that, really. But that's the way that they're getting their needs met. That's emotional manipulation. They There are a lot of people, in the world who manipulate others for their own satisfaction. And it has nothing to do with caring for the other person. So what is emotional manipulation? I'm really hitting this hard today because this is happening in the earth today. Mm-hmm. It's happening in the world today. It's happening in your house today. You know somebody. It might be Uncle Johnny, Aunt Susie, or sister, baby, whoever. Somebody in your life has been going through this or is trying to operate it on you. And you've recognized it, but you didn't know what to do with it. That's where we're going. Emotional manipulation is a method of using your words, using body language, using your behavior for the purposes of provoking a desired response. That's what it's doing. Such as, here's a good example. You asking your children for money, and you're saying, I just really need some money this weekend. It's just been so hard, and I don't know what to do. And every time I look around, knowing you don't have any tears, emotionally manipulating. But you go ahead and go through the tear thing. I'm just really having a hard time, and it seems like every job I get, it's just not enough, and I don't know what I'm going to do. 13 minutes after they give you $200, I just threw out 13. You're like, hey, how you doing, girl? What's going on with you? That person's whole manipulative attitude has changed. Sometimes you have said something to someone to make them feel bad. What did we just get through saying about that? We just got to telling you that it's important that you actually are having that influence, recognizing the boundaries and the rights of other people, and it's based on being honest. It's based on being honest. What would be the solution to handle what just happened? If your child is in your life and they have some money and they just got a $10,000 raise and you know about all of that, and you don't have to go to them and say, I'm just doing so bad. You can be honest with your communication. I know that you plan to use your money for other things, but can I be honest and just ask you, could you please just either give me a loan or just bless me today with $200? Just be honest, because really I messed up on my bills this week and I didn't take care of it properly. And I know that you hadn't planned on this for me coming to you, but I wanted to be honest to say, thank God for your breakthrough. Do you mind helping me out? If that's the way you need to go, great. That's honest. That's communicating. Mm-hmm. But you do not have to go into a tear-jerking battle with that person. You don't have to go through all these other explanations trying to act like that you're sad or pitiful or you're not going to make it or you might die tomorrow if you don't get your medicine. Come on. That's emotional manipulation. We do it as children. We do it as adults. We do it as moms, dads, husbands, and wives.
Come on.
I need to buy that purse, but I don't know. I've been wanting that purse for the last 3 years, and it's finally on sale for $42. And $442 for some of you. And that $442 purse, I'll never get it for that price again. And I know that you don't have but $1,300 left, but if you just let me have this right now, I won't lose that sale. You know good and well you don't need the $442 purse. You needed to pay your electric bill of $400. And here it is that you're manipulating for something that you want in your flesh, that God is telling you, no, it would have been better for you to tell the truth. You want that purse. Will he help you out with it? But it isn't necessary that you need it. And you don't get all sad when they say, well, right now I need to be able to pay my bills and be able to make sure I can send my child to get some more of what they need in school. Yeah, that would be the right thing to do. And you don't need to make them feel bad. But I know, but your child will be okay if you could just help me buy this purse. See what's going on? You're going back and forth and making it sound like that your purse is so important. Or whatever you're doing is so important. But if they didn't have the money, you wouldn't buy the purse. If they didn't have that $1,300 breakthrough. So there's times in our life, people in our life that should be people we care about, we actually manipulate. Grandmama, granddaddy, especially them, they get manipulated all the time. My children, my little grandbabies do it all the time. They will manipulate me when they come over and they said, Nana, you got a lot of money this week. They look at my purse, they see a $10 bill, and they think I'm rich today in the natural. So they tell me I have a lot of money. What are they doing? They want to manipulate me. But you could buy me this toy. It's only $1.99. and they go into a whine. The little one will go into tantrum. And I've learned that. I know what that is. Even children are born to learn how to manipulate if you don't stop that journey of where they're going. So emotional manipulation happens all the time. People are so skillful at being that emotional manipulator. They are so good at hiding their real personalities and their real intentions. That spirit is the word of today as far as what I see. It's happening in schools. It's happening in churches. It's happening, I'm going to say it again, in churches. I'm going to say it one more time. It's happening in churches. It's a subtle spirit that goes unnoticed many times. It's a controlling spirit. It's a selfish spirit. It's a spirit that has attached with it dire consequences, and it does not travel alone. It does not travel alone. The manipulative spirit will make you believe that your destiny is that the family business that you have, that's where it is. That's where it should be, with the family business. Meanwhile, God is calling you to go and be this great prophet in this earth for him. Now, what happens? The manipulative spirit will make you remain at the location in the family business. I got to do it because my mom and dad always wanted me to do it, and I'm going to do it. And God shows up and says, I'm giving you an emergency exit. You can go through this emergency exit and get to your destiny, or you're going to get stuck right where you are. Instead of going directly in the direction of where God has shown you to go, you're afraid to leave. Why? Because of this manipulative spirit. Guilt, fear. What are they going to say about me? My mom and dad are not going to like me anymore. What if they think that I was the only child that didn't do what they asked me to do? In Matthew chapter 4, verse 21 through 22, it talks about this. Jesus noticed these two brothers named James and Zebedee, who was the brother of John, in a boat with their father, Zebedee. They were mending their nets and putting them right, and he called them. At once they left the boat and their father and joined Jesus as disciples. What were they doing? They were mending their nets with their dad, doing what their dad asked them to do. But when Jesus called them, when Jesus gave them their direction, when Jesus told them what their destiny was, they got up and did what Jesus told them to do. They did not look back. Notice that James and John followed Jesus at once. They weren't under that power of what the dad would make them feel like. They followed him at once. They left their father. They left their family business and everything. Everything. I'm talking about everything, y'all. You have to be bold and rebuke the spirit of manipulation when it tries to take you over to do what everybody else is telling you to do, and God didn't tell you to do that. As an apostle, I knew he had called me to be an apostle. So I went through trials and tribulations where the enemy tried to keep me from going into it fully. But I never took my mind off of the goal. I never took my mind off of the call. I knew God had called me to do it, and I was going to make it through it. But some of you are being called today to do certain things in your life. He's put these calls, he's put these offices, he's put these agendas up on your life to do what he called you to do, and you need to do it at once. Quit talking about it. Just do it. Don't let the manipulation of your pastors and your friends in the house, everywhere you go, pull you back into what you thought was going to make you make billions of dollars, only to find out 2 months after you're in it, it falls to the ground because you weren't in the place you should have gone in the first place. Don't be manipulated by different commercials. You know, commercials can manipulate you. It can make you think that's the way to go. I used to be manipulated by, what is that show? The Publishing Clearinghouse thing. I was so manipulated by that. I thought, if I don't fill this out, it's going to be terrible. This is the time I'm going to win, and I'm going to find out. That was my number. I would be manipulated by them saying, this is your last chance to be able to win. Those are manipulations. You all need to grow up and make a decision. Are you going to follow what that is? That's still like playing numbers. Come on, I'm telling you the truth. Somebody's going to say, well, I won that finally. after you paid for all of that stuff to try to, you thought that buying all of those things from the Publishing Clearinghouse catalog was going to get you there. You probably put more money in than you getting out. So anyway, there are manipulative tactics. There's a few ways that you may be engaging in destructive behavior patterns that are holding you back from helping more than they're helping you. Seeking a sense of superiority by making others feel inferior. You feel superior in a given situation. This may be something that is accomplished by ridiculing others, being outright mean, being outright aggressive, or even ignoring them when they're speaking. Though this can work for a moment, you need to understand, to gain the outcome you hope for, it often leads a loss of respect from all who hear or see you as an abusive person, as how you're acting verbally with other people. You have to understand, you have all kind of manipulative tactics that are going on in the earth today. Dishonesty is one of them. When you purposely omit the facts and only partially make a fact and distort the truth. How many of you done that? Some of you are twitching your feet right now. You purposely omit the facts. You just omit it. You don't even say, the real reason is I didn't pay my bill because I went to the casino last night and I used all my money up at the casino. That's the real reason, but I'm going to admit that fact. I'm just going to tell you that I don't have a lot of money this weekend. I'm going to get thrown out of my apartment. I've got an eviction, and I just want you to know I'm having a hard time and I need help. That's dishonest. That's omitting the facts. So when this happens, if you're doing this purposely in an attempt to control their response, to make them give you what you want, you're being deceptive. Wake up and just say it. I am being deceptive. A fact that when found out is going to cause people to view you as untrustworthy. And I've seen this before, where people end up saying, I don't know if I'm ever trust them for real, because John just told me that they saw them over there at the casino last night and they were really playing those numbers, and they must not know that John saw them. Everything in the darkness comes to light. See, you can pretend to be dishonest and try to get everything you need to help your needs, but you're too manipulative with it, and God starts letting it show up another way. Another way is playing the victim. Here's a manipulative tactic that I've seen over and over, even in my own family. If you're often characterizing yourself as the victim of another person, a partner, or a government agency, or circumstance in order to convince other people to give you money, or something that you want, or something that you need, you are playing the victim. It's all coming together. The fact is that everyone plays a role. Everybody does. In every circumstance. And though it sometimes happens that you may be unfairly targeted by someone, it's not the case in every situation. You know it's not. Continually crying wolf can mean that there is no one there for you when you actually do have a true crisis. That is a factor. Now you have a true crisis. Something is really going on. But you cried wolf, wolf so long and were manipulative so long, now nobody even wants to trust you. What are the consequences of being manipulative? Damaging your reputation, damaging your credibility, damaging your integrity. That's a huge list right there by itself. So you have to know, you keep acting like that, and that's what's going to come out of it. Here's some signs of a manipulator. Number one, the controlling person that you're in a close relationship, what's happening is you're the controlling person, you're in a close relationship, and you allow yourself to prove your point in this disagreement. People controlling others will not allow a conversation to go a certain way so that they can continue to make you lose the argument. That's what happens with manipulators. They're going to make you lose the argument. Number two, the controlling person manipulates you with temper tantrums. It's not always with a child. Sometimes it's with a 70-year-old adult. They start slamming doors. They start calling names. They start saying all kind of words they should. They start putting threats out there on Facebook. Come on. People threaten you and get mad at you, even on Facebook. Controlling people will go into fits. They'll go into anger. Well, I needed you to come home and do what I told you to do, and you didn't come home and do it. And they go into tantrums, and you can read it on your text and go, they are very upset. And if I don't change this around and do what they asked me to do, I'm going to have to deal with this when they come home. That's a person that is an emotional manipulator that is going to make you feel like when you come home, you're going to get it. You can either be afraid right now, or you can go ahead and take authority over it right now and shut that down. That would be me. I'm shutting it down. You're not coming home and destroying my house. You're not coming home and talking about me on your way home and putting word curses out on me. You're not going to come home and try to take over the house and make me feel like if I don't do it, this is what you're going to do, because you're not going to do it. I bind you up in Jesus' name. I learned that I don't have to let manipulators get to my emotional system and take me out with their violence and their ugliness and all of this stuff just because they feel like that's going to cause them to win. I don't let it happen. Number 3, the controlling person constantly tries to make victims feel guilty. Have you been there? Is that your hand going up today? Where somebody tries to make you feel guilty, make you feel bad about the way you treat them. Even though the controlling person may be an abuser, or they may be the one that is controlling, they will try to make the victim think that you are the abuser. That's actually using reverse psychology. Number 4, the controlling person is always expecting more from you, and they're never satisfied. Well, I know you gave me $1,500 last week, but this week I need about $3,000. Next week I'm gonna probably need $2,000. They make you feel that you got to keep helping them. You've got to keep enabling them. Number 5, the controlling person is always questioning your motives. Now, see, you thought it was the other way around, but they actually are going to question your motives. Number 6, the controlling person is always constantly putting you down. They can make the victim feel obligated to try harder, to please the controller, to please the controller, to please the controller, and trust their wisdom so that they're always letting the controller make the important decisions. That's what happens with these emotional manipulators. Number 7, the controlling person is at that point where they're used to always having their way. They're used to that. So you're not giving them their way is going to make them go into the temper tantrum or make them go into the crying spell. Number 8, the controlling person finds ways to impose their will in every situation. And number 9, the controlling person threatens to end the relationship. These are emotional things. Now, I'm not going to be your friend anymore because you don't seem like you're really there for me. And I always wanted you to just help me out, but you always want to help them out, and help them out, and help them out, but you're never here for me. Number 10, the last one, the controlling person withholds physical affection. Women usually aren't stupid enough or desperate for sex as men, and they don't go into this old-fashioned technique of, oh, they don't want to touch me. Well, why did you keep dodging me? Why your hand, you act like you don't want to touch me anymore. That's a controller. They're manipulating you to actually be that wife or that husband to make sure that you do what they tell you to do when they tell you to do it. If not, you're going to have to pay for it. So if you're a victim of control, if you're a victim of abuse, you need to speak to a professional person, get some help some kind of way, especially if you're married or you're in a business relationship. You need to make sure you do that. Now, we have the number or the address here at ppmglobalresources.com where you can get more information on these particular subjects, and we can help you even here. That's ppmglobalresources.com. But if you're in that position, you don't have to stay there. Are you, this question though, are you the manipulator or are you being manipulated? Because some of you are manipulators. I'm talking about you Christians. You Christians are manipulators, and you need to recognize that and get help yourself. You suspect that your partner is cheating on you. Do you cook him a candle-lit supper to win him over? That's manipulative. It's still manipulative. Or do you go through his pockets and check out and see what the phone has on it? Those things are still being manipulative. This is telling you you might have a problem with this. Your partner would like to go to the on a holiday, not a holiday, but a vacation to Hawaii this summer, but you prefer to go to Paris. What do? What do you say to your partner? Do you say these things? If you don't want to go to Paris, I'll go by myself. Check it out. Manipulation. You're throwing out there that I'll do it without you. Hawaii is a great idea, but the heat makes me feel sick. All of those are manipulative ways. I'm giving you these so that you can understand there are so many ways people can manipulate it, but I'll close with this by saying remove the spirit of manipulation from your addict. Get it out. Check it out. You don't have to have it there. You don't have to let it stay there. If someone is manipulating you and you don't know how to come free from it, get some help. Get some help. There are all kinds of agencies that can bring you freedom. If you need to know that these people are actually at a point where you are manipulating them, get some help. Because sometimes it's not so easy to walk through it all by yourself. But I'll say this in a prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, if there are manipulators that are listening to this today, God, set them free, bring them out from under bondage. If people are being manipulated, that I'm talking about, or talking to on this today's broadcast, I pray that you deliver them from being manipulated, that their eyes come open, that they come out of the attic with this experience, and they get the help they need by walking free, by taking authority over it, by repenting if you're doing it, by making a decision that all of these little ways that the enemy tries to creep up on and try to bring it back to you, that you will not let it live in your household. You will not let it live in your children. You will not let it live in your marriage. You will not let it live in your church. From this day forward, you will not let it live even in your businesses. You come out from under being a manipulator or being manipulated and be free in the name of Jesus. We call it done. God bless you, and we'll see you next week.